Hi, I'm Bethany Vaughn. We're at RHY Yoga, and tonight we're doing a strength building sequence. Welcome. Let's get started. Come to an active child's pose, placing your knees just to the inside edge of your mat. Tops of your feet are down. Big toes touching. Lengthen your arms long out in front of you. Placing your forehead onto the mat. Ease your hips and your buttocks back towards your heels. Create a lot of space in between the vertebrae, up and down your spine, and start taking full, deep, and complete breaths all the way in and all the way out. Each and every time we come to our mat, we have the opportunity to learn something about ourselves and in turn about the rest of the world, everyone and everything in it. When you're in your active child's pose, your inner upper thigh should be in contact with your low ribs, and your forehead should be positioned in such a way that the back of your neck feels long towards the crown of your head. Be very mindful that if you have a back issue or you're pregnant, that you have that upper to lower body contact. And if you need to, take a cleansing breath or two. A cleansing breath is in the nose and out the mouth. And you can take a cleansing breath anytime that you need throughout the practice. And then once you're able to take a full, deep, and complete breath all the way in and all the way out through your nose only, then start breathing parallel so that your inhalations and your exhalations are lasting the same length of time. You can also use RHY style breath. This is breath that not only can you feel it, you can actually hear it. It's audible. And breathing evenly in and out through your nose. A classic yogic breath is about 5 counts or seconds in and 5 counts out. If you can go a longer period of time breathing in and out, up to 8 to 10 counts. If you need to go a little shorter, 3 or 4 counts, it's perfectly fine. Just find a rhythm that works for your body, for your mind, for your breath, where you feel like your breath is invigorating you and relaxing you. Inhaling, allowing yourself to feel how the inhalation is uplifting emotionally, physically, mentally. An exhalation, notice the power in your exhale, letting go, relaxing, becoming even more focused. So you can be relaxed and focused at the same time. Set an intention for your class. Your intention should be very meaningful to you. Once you set it, you release it to the universe with total trust and without any conditions. And then take 2 more breaths, evenly in and out through your nose. And at the bottom of your exhalation, take your low belly in, up, and back. And on your next inhale, rise up onto all 4s. You're going to line up your wrists underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers open super wide. Line up your knees underneath your hips. Line up your feet behind your knees. You can choose to keep the tops of your feet down, or you can tuck your toes forward. Feel what's right for you at this moment. Take a deep inhale breath with a neutral spine from your tail to your crown. And on the exhale, tuck your tail and start rounding your back towards the sky. This is the cat pose. And then on the inhale, lift from the chin and chest, spine goes towards the mat, tail will lift up last. This is cow. Then tuck in your tail, rounding your back, bringing it into cat. And we're gonna move into 8 more rounds of cat-cows. Move your hips forward and back. You can take your hips around in little circular motions, go in both directions an equal number of times. Just waking up, warming up your spine to your practice. You can thread the needle, taking one arm underneath the other, opening up through your side body and all through your neck, your shoulder, and whatever you do on one side, do on the other side for the same length of time. You may like to bring your cows into modified upward facing dogs, or you can round your back so deeply in your cat that you drag up onto your fingertips. Finishing up with your last rounds of cat-cows, you're going to neutralize into your spine, tuck your toes forward, taking a deep inhalation through your upper back, and on the exhale, lifting your seat up and back into downward facing dog pose. You may need to move your heels back an inch or 2 so that you have the proper distance in down dog, parallel and hip distance your feet, and then walk your dog, bending alternate knees, taking a little bit of hang time in each of your heels. Lift one leg, drop the heel toward the opposite buttock, open up into the hip, into the side body, roll the ankle out, go in both directions, equal number of times, and then mirror and match your sides. You can turn your feet to the left and drop your hips down to the right and vice versa. And then we'll hold our downward facing dog for 2 more breaths. In the down dog, it is a resting position. We're going to come to this position many times throughout the sequence. Be mindful that your heels are hiding behind your toes, that your feet are hip distance, that your hands are shoulder distance, and that they look the same on either side of your mat. Your arms are straight, your legs are straight, and your low belly is in, up, and back. Then look to the space between your hands and walk up into that space, taking your feet hip distance or wider, and bending your knees as generously as you need to so that you've got low ribs touching high thighs. And then grab opposite elbows, thumbs in the creases of the elbows, head turning right and left in a no motion, nodding in a yes motion. If you have a back injury or you're pregnant, you can keep your hands on the floor for support. Still your head, switch your grip, and then move your hips from side to side. Bending alternate knees, Hips go left, torso right, and vice versa. Keep the weight pretty even across your feet. And take a little bit of weight forward towards the toes, so your hips align over your ankle bones. Balance out your sides and release your arms to the ground like a rag doll. Now if you're injured in your back or you're pregnant, keep your knees bending, feet hip distance. You'll walk your hands up your bent legs. Otherwise, so heel your feet so they come side by side. Hit your thighs back, tucking your tail down. Slowly round yourself upright. And you're going to take your shoulders down and back twice. And then come to the very top of your mat, bringing your toes and your heels and your ankles to touch. And bringing your hands to heart center. Become centered with your breath, with your focus, with your intention. Eyes are open. And on the inhale, raise the arms upward towards the sky. This is Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands. On the exhalation, bow forward into Uttanasana, deep forward fold. Take your left foot and step it back. Put your knee down and the top of your foot on the ground. Inhale, coming into low lunge. And then place your hands onto the mat and step back and lower down to the ground. Put the tops of your feet down. Bring your hands about 12 inches forward. Inhale and curl up into low cobra. And then pull your hands back, tucking your toes. Press into down dog. Taking your left foot, bring it forward, coming into your low lunge. Then we're going to come up and forward fold. Rise up, arc back, and on the exhale, bow down. Head is relaxed, right foot goes back, knee goes down, low lunging. Hands come to the mat, step it back, and lower down to the ground. Put the tops of your feet down, hands 12 inches forward. Inhale, low cobra. Pull your hands back, exhale, downward facing dog. Take your right foot, step it forward, coming into your low lunge, and then come up to forward bend. Rise up, arc it back, exhalation, bowing down. Taking the left foot back, put the knee to the ground, low lunge, placing your hands on the mat, lower down to the floor. This time, tops of feet down, lay your forearms down, inhalation for Sphinx. Pull your hands back, tuck your toes, press back into down dog. Take your left foot and step it up, low lunging, coming up and forward bending. Rising up and arcing back, exhalation, bowing down. Taking the right foot back, knee goes down, hands to the mat, lower to the floor, tops of feet down, forearms down, inhale Sphinx, exhalation, downward facing dog. Taking the right foot, stepping it up, low lunge, coming up, we forward bend. Rising up, arcing back, exhalation, bowing down. Left side, knee goes down. Lower down, all the way to the floor. Keep your hands where they are. Inhalation, cobra. Exhalation, down dog. Taking the left foot, step it up. Low lunge. Come up and forward bend. Rise up and back and bow. Right side, knee goes down. Hands to the mat. Lower to the floor. Keep the hands where they are. Curl it up, cobra. And then press it back. down dog. Taking the right foot, stepping it up. Coming up, forward bending. Rising up and back, and bowing down. Left side, knee goes down. Step it back, lower to the floor. Take your hands wide on the fingertips. Curl it up high, cobra. And then press back into down dog. Taking the left foot, stepping it up. Come up to forward bend. Rise up and back, and bow. Right side, knee goes down. Hands to the mat. Lower to the floor. Go wide and high. And then press it back. And now take the right foot, step it up. Come up, forward bend. Rise up and back, and bow. Left side, knee goes down. Step it back, hold, high push-up plank. You're going to move your left hand and your left foot toward the center line. Stack and turn, opening into Vashisthasana. If you need to modify the pose, you can put your bottom knee down. If you'd like to add a variation, you can bring your top arm over or lift your top leg. 3, 2, high push-up plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog, and then exhale into down dog. Let's take the left foot, stepping it forward, low lunge, coming up, forward bending, rising up and back, and bowing down. Right foot goes back, knee goes down, step back, hold your high push-up plank. Now move your right hand and your right foot towards the center. Stack, turn, and open. This is Vashisthasana. You can add variations. You can modify by putting the knee down. You choose. Holding for 5. High push-up plank. Lowering chaturanga. Curling it up and pressing it back. Take your right foot, step it forward, low lunge. Coming up, forward bend. Rising up and back, and bow. Left side, knee goes down. Step back, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take the left foot, step it forward. Come up to forward fold. Rise up and back. And bow. Right side, knee goes down. Step it back, lower, chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward dog. Right foot comes up. Slow lunging. Come up to forward fold. Rise up and back, and bow. Left side, knee goes down. Hands to the mat, lower chaturanga. This is going to be our last round of Sun A. Inhale for up dog. Exhale to down dog. Left foot up. Low lunge. Deep forward bend at the top. Rise up and back, and bow. From right side, knee goes down. Lower, chaturanga. Up dogs. Down dogs. Right foot up. Low lunge. And at the top, hold your forward fold. Take your feet hip distance or wider. Bend your knees if you need to, so that you can get internal rotation of the thighs, but also that support. Use your hands pressing down to pull your shoulders back away from the ground. If you still have tension in your neck or your shoulders, turn your head right and left. Nod your head yes. You may want to take a cleansing breath in the nose, out the mouth. And then if you'd like to take a variation to open another area in the body while you hang forward, you can step onto your palms. And that will alleviate any tension you may be suffering in the wrists. Or you can scoop your heels, drawing the shoulders back. That will wake up your hamstrings a lot. You can interlace behind you, stretching your arms up and over. And it's more important your arms are straight than the heels of your hands coming together. If you have difficulty interlacing, you can always use a strap in between your hands. It's a nice option. That way you can get your chest and your shoulders open. Typically, if you're tight in the chest, you're not getting the heels of the hands together, and you need this a lot, so take the strap. Breathing in and out evenly through the nose now. Little weight towards the toes, hips over ankles. Focus and concentrate. Your breath is always in the present moment. So anytime your mind drifts, reconnect with your breath to the present moment. Release your variations. Now we're going to toe heel the feet so that they come side by side. Let's bend our knees and sit into an imaginary chair. This is called Utkatasana, awkward pose, or chair pose, fierce pose. Your inner ankles touching unless you're modifying, and your knees squeezing together. Get your hips from the front to the back so they're even with each other. Looping the tail, pulling the low belly, lifting with the chest, lengthen through the arms. Eyes are up. Then shoot up, and on the exhale, bow forward. Now look up halfway, and you can step or you can jump back, and lowering chaturanga, inhalation, curl the chest into up dog, and then exhale into down dog. We're going to take the left foot and step it forward for warrior one. Your knee is bending at 90 degrees. The outer edge of your back foot is firmly onto the mat. The eyes are up, arms are in line with your side bodies. Chest is squared forward. Hands come down, step it back, and lower, flow. Inhalation, exhalation. Right side, right foot comes forward for warrior one. Right knee is bending at 90 degrees. Back leg is straight and strong. Chest is squared forward toward the top of your mat. Lift the chest and change it. Placing the hands down, stepping back and lower. Inhalation, curl it up. And then we all meet into downward facing dog. Hit your thighs back, pull your belly in and up. Strengthen your arms, strengthen your legs. When you think your legs and your arms are straight, engage them more. There's always room for improvement and depth. The more you engage, the more freedom you're going to feel with your breath. Look up. And you can step or you can jump. Fold in. Bending your knees. You're going to sit down into an imaginary chair. Shoot it up. Then on the exhale, bowing forward. Looking up halfway. Come on back. Stepping or jumping. Inhalation. Exhalation. We're taking the left foot up for triangle. Come directly in. You want both of your legs straight and strong. Both of your arms extending and engaging. Pull in your low belly. Lift your chest more. Turning your waist, your chest, shoulders, and ultimately your neck away from the floor. Then inhalation, rise and turn your feet so they face the long edge of your mat. Put your hands on your hips. Draw your tailbone down. Roll your chest open. And then exhale, hinge forward where your hips meet your thighs. Put your hands on the ground. This is called Prasarita Padottanasana. Walk your hands back through your legs. Grab your outer ankle bones into your palms and place your head on or close to the floor. If you cannot get your head on the ground, bend your knees to help extend your spine. We're going to take a variation on this pose. Walk your hands over to your left ankle bone, interlace behind the ankle, thumbs on the front of the ankle. And then bend the elbows and take your forehead on or close to your shin. And as you pull towards the leg that you're holding, stretch through your right side body all to the ribs. Then journey on over to the other side, taking the interlace, thumbs on the front side, bending the elbows, forehead coming onto the shin. And as you're pulling to the right, send left side body to the left. Good. Come back to the center and hold your ankles, and notice if you can get your head on the ground. My more experienced students, scoop up the edges of your feet and put your forehead on the floor. And increase, intensify that stretch. Good. All right, release your hands from your feet. Walk your hands forward. Toe heel your feet in twice. Inhalation, rise. Turning your right foot in and your left foot forward. Raise your arms above your head. Square your chest and your hips towards the top of your back. Lengthen up, lean back, put the chin on the chest, and now come forward into Paschimottanasana. Hands go down, and we're going to turn the hands around, fingers pointing towards the back of your mat. So you want your hands turned away, fingers in the opposite direction of your toes. Shoulders pulled back. Squeeze both of your thighs. Feel free to walk your hands a little further back. Get your head on your knee. Then walk your hands forward. Put them in prayer above your head. Inhale and come up. Take one step to the top of your mat. Bending your knees. Let's sit down in your imaginary chair. Shooting it up. And on the exhale, bow it down. Looking up halfway. You can step or jump back. Inhalation and exhalation. Now we're taking the right foot up for triangle. Come directly in. Both legs are straight. Both arms are straight. Turning the waist, chest, shoulders, neck. Straighten both of your legs. Align, bringing hip girdle slightly forward, shoulder girdle slightly back. Ultimately, you'll be able to turn in your neck. Then inhalation, rise, and turn your feet so that they're facing the long side of your mat. And now you're going to put your hands on your hips, and we're going to go in again. Those of you that stand on your head are welcome to press up into headstand. Otherwise, you can do the prep pose, where you just put your knees onto your upper arms. Go ahead and hinge forward and come down. Make sure your feet are parallel. And if you don't want to do either of those two options, that's perfectly fine. You can practice what we did on the other side. Maybe this time you scoop up underneath the edges of your feet. Press your inner upper thighs apart. Pull your low belly in and up. Those of you who are standing on your head, go ahead and make your way down. Everybody else, stay in your pose. Those of you that came down from standing on your head, go into the pose, holding the edges of the feet or the ankles. And now we're going to take another twist, but in a different way. So walk your hands forward until your hands are underneath your shoulders and your torso is parallel to the floor. And let's take our right hand to the center, right under the chin, and then lift the left arm up. And what's tricky here is not so much that you couldn't rotate your chest, but that your hip on the outside starts to drop down. Get your hips even and turn your waist. Press through the hand on the ground and pull with the hand on the ground as you reach upward towards the sky. Good, let's do the other side. Go ahead and put your left hand where your right hand was, drag the chest forward, and then start rotating. And notice how you want to drop your left buttock down to make the pose happen. Lift that buttock up and turn from the waist, from the chest, from the shoulders, from the neck. One more breath here. Good. Both hands down, soften the knees, toe heel the feet in twice, and then inhale, rise. And we're going to turn your left foot in and your right foot so it faces forward. Bring the arms above the head in the prayer position. Lengthen up, lean back, tuck the chin on your chest, keep your mouth closed, and come forward. Once you get down there, turn your hands around. So I'm using all of these sun salutations to prep you for some of the other poses we're going to be doing throughout the class. You can move your hands even further back, intensifying the stretch, and then bringing your head onto your knee. Walk your hands forward. Hands in prayer above your head. Inhale, come up. Step to the top of the mound. Bend your knees and sit down into your imaginary chair. Shoot it up, and on the exhale, bowing down. Looking up halfway, come on back. Inhalation, upward facing dog. Exhalation, downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Look up, step or jump, folding in, sitting down into your imaginary chair. Bring your hands to heart center. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, twist, taking your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Parivrita Utkatasana, revolving or turning chair. Turn your waist, turn your chest, keep your knees side by side. Pull your low belly in. Unwind, sit right back down in your chair. Thighs on fire. Feel that strength and power. Squeeze the knees, press the feet. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, turn and twist. Taking the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh this time. Get your seat lower than your heart. Get your heart lower than your head. Put some weight in the heels. Sit down, sit back. Come back into your chair. Sit as low as you can. Go towards the pose. Feel the power, the strength. Beautiful. Shoot it up. Exhalation. Bowing down. Look up halfway. Come on back. Lower. Inhaling and exhaling. Downward facing dog. Take your left foot up for warrior one. As soon as you are up, you're going to bring it right back down. Amp up your breath. From your downward dog, taking your right foot forward for your warrior one. As soon as you're up, bring it right back down. Flow. And then we'll all meet in a downward facing dog. Cleansing breaths are appropriate here if you need them. In the nose, out the mouth. Look up, step or jump, and fold. Bend your knees, sitting down into your chair. Open your arms, cross the left arm underneath the right. Lift the elbows up, and then take your left leg and cross it up and over your right, placing your foot. Now align your joints in the center, so you have your wrists over your elbows, over your knees and your ankles, and you might need to move your knees a little left and elbows slightly right. Put some weight to standing heel, and then squeeze and sit super, super deep. Fly your eagle forward, chest can go forward, but tailbone must stay down. Don't lift your seat to lower your chest. For 3, 2, gently release. Sit right back down into your chair, and open your arms, this time taking the right arm underneath the left, cross the elbow again at the wrist, and take your right leg and cross it up and over your left, placing your foot behind your calf. You might need to move your knees a little right, elbows slightly left. Bend the knees, put weight to standing heel. Squeeze the thighs, lay the torso on the thighs. Sit deep and low. Focus and concentrate. For 3, 2, 1. Sit right back down in your chair. I know you don't want to sit in your chair. Sit in your chair. Good. Shoot it up. And exhale. Bow. Look up halfway. Come on back. Lower. Inhaling and exhaling. Downward facing dog. Walk your dog a little bit. Pedal your feet. Then hold your dog. Notice if you can get the crown of your head closer to the mat. Press your heels closer to the mat. Feet should be hip distance. Good, look up and step or jump. Exhale and fold in. Bend your knees and sit down in your imaginary chair. Shoot it up, and on the exhale, bow forward. Look up halfway. Come on back, lower. Inhalation, up dog. Exhalation, down dog. Take your left foot forward for warrior one and hold the pose. And we're going to clasp the hands in the interlaced grip behind our back. Now, if you can't get the heels of your hands together, you can have space in between the palms with just interlaced fingers, or you can use your strap or belt if you're at home. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, fold. Stretching the arms deeply over, and try not to bump your hip out to the side. Pull the hip in. Relax your head and your neck. Press through both of your feet without gripping your toes. And if you have a back issue, shoulder issue, or pregnancy, your side body, left side body is on the thigh. Good, inhale, come back up into warrior one, and exhale, flow. Lower. Inhalation, exhalation. Let's do the other side. Right foot comes up. Warrior one. Clasping the hands or putting your strap. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Arms going up and over. Straight arms. Strong legs. Try not to grip your toes. Relax your neck and pull that outer right hip in. Don't bump it onto the side of the mat. Keep your body inside your mat. And then ultimately, you work within the lines of your body. All your space comes from the inside. Go a little deeper because you can. And then inhale up into your warrior one. And exhale, flow. Step back and lower. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming into your downward facing dog. All right, we're going to move into one more Surya Namaskar B. Take a cleansing breath if you need it. Get stronger in your arms and legs. So as you're practicing, you should not be getting more and more fatigued. You should be getting more and more invigorated. So really check in with your breath. Good, look up, and step or jump. Exhale to fold. Bend your knees and sit down in your imaginary chair. Shoot it up, and on the exhale, bow down. Looking up halfway, come on back, lower. Inhalation and exhalation. Now when you step up with your left foot for warrior one, if you want to open heart your warrior, bend your elbows and lift your chest as much as you can. Beautiful. Hands go down, step back, and lower. Inhaling and exhaling. And then of course we do the right. Right foot comes up. This is warrior one with the open heart. And come right back down. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths. You will get your heels and your head ultimately on the floor in this pose. It's pure goodness. More breaths. Don't let your mind trick your body into thinking it's tired. Let your body speak to your mind. Then look up, step or jump. Fold in, sit down in your chair, come up, and bring your hands to your heart. Good evening. Have some water. How are you feeling? Good. Good. See, we got warm. Yes? Good. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I always talk at this point in the class to sort of make move and be focused. And because I'm in the back, I'm just going to ask you to turn around so that I'm not talking to your backs. Because that's just weird. Alright, so we're going to move into the rest of our practice. I warm up for a long time, and the reason I warm up for a long time is because in order to do the deeper poses well, you have to be properly warmed up. If you were to divide your class up like, oh, it's only an hour, so I guess I'll warm up only for 15 minutes instead of 30 minutes. It doesn't really work out that way. I would rather do some variations with you while you're warming up, getting you prepped for some of the deeper poses, okay? So that's why we always sort of warm up for the same length of time, and it's very important. You don't want to go into things cold, especially things like, for instance, Hanumanasana split, which I feel like we will be venturing into in just a little while. In fact, I know we will. And so we'll also do back bends, and we're going to work on flip dog tonight. So some of the things might be a little scary. I'm also going to invite you to do a forearm balance. If you are comfortable going upside down, you can take it up a notch and go on your forearms. These are all strength building poses. All your standing poses are for strength, but we're not just trying to increase your strength in your body. We're trying to increase your strength in your mind. That's the most important part, that you have a strong mind. Not that you're stubborn, but that you're strong, okay? You know what you say, you mean what you say, you trust yourself, you're not afraid to speak your mind, because that's the truth, okay? So the stronger we get physically, the more we can start understanding that mentally. We can actually see it, we can feel it, okay? So we're gonna come to the top of the mat, we're gonna move through the rest of the practice and do some of those fabulous poses. Come to the top, bring your hands to heart center, we'll face forward again. Thanks for turning around. Take it deep. Inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. Cleanse your body and your mind, your breath. And then hands to heart center. And on the inhale, take your arms up. And on the exhale, bow forward. And look up halfway and step or jump back. And lower. Inhalation, upward facing dog. Exhalation, downward facing dog. For those of you that are new to the power series, that's called taking a vinyasa. It's like a little mini sun salutation without the lunges. And then we work off of downward facing dog. So we're gonna take our left foot and bring it forward for triangle, which we already did, but we're gonna build on this pose. You're gonna have your left hand directly behind your ankle, and the other arm goes up. And from here, put your top hand onto your hip, bend your forward knee, and then lift your back leg so that you come into Ardha Chandrasana, and this is the half moon. Once you have your balance, you can re-extend your arm skyward. I'm going to move back a little so that y'all can see me at home. This is one of those poses that really helps increase your strength in every way. And if you do not practice it every single day, it leaves you very quickly. Then place the hands down and step the feet side by side. Bend your knees and sit down in your imaginary chair. Shoot it up. On the exhale, bow forward. We're taking a vinyasa. Look up halfway. Step or jump back. Lower. Inhalation up. Exhalation. Taking it back. Now take your right foot up for the triangle. Come directly in. Straight legs, straight arms. Strong belly. Put the top hand on the hip. Bend the forward knee. Move the right hand forward. And lift up into your half moon. Once you have your balance, top arm can go up. Focus and concentrate. Hands go down, feet come side by side. We bend the knees and sit down into the chair. Shoot it up, and on the exhale, bow. Look up halfway, float. Take your vinyasa. Inhalation, exhalation. Notice how your inhalations to your up dogs and your exhalations to your down dogs are coordinating with your motions. Your breaths and your motions are starting to come together more easily. We're going to move into a prep pose for the flip dog, and this is called fallen triangle. Lift up through your left leg and then bring it across the body towards the top of your mat, and then reach back with the other arm. Take your foot as high as you can and then pull the foot back in with your belly strength. Good. Down dog, take a breath. It's intense. Now lift up your right leg. Pull it in towards the chest. Take it across and open. Fallen triangle. Good. Use your belly strength. Pull that foot right back in and come into downward facing dog. Come down onto your knees, ease your hips back for a moment to your heels, and just take a deep breath with your arms fully extended out in front of you. I want you to feel your palms pressing firmly into your mat. Now we're going to get ready for this split dog. Anybody who's not familiar, you're welcome to turn around and watch. Anybody who's watching from home or wherever you are, you can watch me go in and then join in. All right, come into downward facing dog. Move your left hand and your left foot towards the center. Lift up with your right leg and drop the heel toward the left buttock. Rise on the ball of your left foot so you can pivot on the ball of that foot. And then drop the foot down. It'll go to the outside of the mat and reach up and back. Some of you will be able to get your free hand onto the ground. Then bend the knees and flip right back over. Good, we're going to do the other side. You're going to take your right hand and your right foot towards the center, lift up through the left, pivot on the ball of the foot, flip it over. And be there. Increase the strength in your legs. Tuck the tail down more. Reach back as far as you can with your hand. Good. Then bend the knees and mindfully flip that dog right back over. All right, come down on your knees. Let me show you this next thing because that was very successful. Hopefully those of you doing this at home are meeting with success. So now we get to amp it up. So watch. Hand, foot come to the center. Leg comes up. We pivot. We bring it over. We reach back. We crunch it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 5. 5. And hold. And then we'll flip it back over and do the other side. It's good. Come into down dog. It was not that bad. Take a cleansing breath. I gotta keep you warm. Our heat's being funky. Bring your left hand and your left foot toward the center. And then go ahead and lift up your right. And drop it over. Good. Make a fist with that hand that's free. Bend the knees and crunch. Pull it in. And expand. And crunch. Pull it in. 2. Good. 3. 4. 5. And hold. Open it up and hold. And go as far as you can. You should have more access to your low belly now. For 3, 2. Beautiful. Flip that dog right back over. This is where we're grateful that we only have 2 arms and 2 legs. Right hand, right foot towards center. Left leg comes up. Flip that dog right on over. And crunch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold, expand, and flip it over. 2 breaths in your downward facing dog. Lower down onto your hands and your knees, and lay your forearms down on the ground. Tuck your toes forward, we're not resting. You can have water if you need it. I could have mentioned that before. Take an inhale to your upper back, and on the exhale, lift into dolphin. And we're going to ekapada our dolphin. So lift up your left leg, rotating the thigh internally toward the center line. Head is not on the ground. Elbows are slightly narrow of shoulders. Good, put that foot down. Lift the other leg up. Rotate the thigh in. Head is not on the floor. Strengthen your arms, like you're trying to push the floor away. Good, put that foot down. And then rise up on your knees. And we're going to take it into wide leg camel. So separate your knees and put your big toes so they touch. Support your low back if necessary with your thumbs or with your fists. Loop your tail down, roll your chest open, and arc backwards. Try not to twist, grab your heels. Good, inhale and come up. And from here, I'm going to invite you to get some blocks. Because now we're going to move into Hanumanasana split. So let me show you how to do it. If you have 2 blocks, you can use them underneath your hands. And you want to put them on this side. And it doesn't matter which foot you decide to put forward first. But what I want to show you is that it's very similar, this positioning, to what is called a crescent lunge. So when you're in a crescent lunge, it's very easy to square your hips because you're on the ball of your back foot. The moment we come lower and gravity grabs us, and the top of this back foot goes down, now we're going to have more difficulty manipulating. Okay, so we might find that one hip comes slightly back, and that's okay because the legs are so far apart. You can put your hands on your blocks, and then you bring your forward foot forward and your back foot back. And just scooch up. I'm running out of space. I underestimated the length of my legs. Right. And then see when you have these blocks, you don't sink. You can use your upper body strength to decide when you're ready to go all the way down. Now, if you don't make it all the way down, you get like here, and you feel like you're going to die. You put the block underneath your leg. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you literally get to do the pose. You can also steer your back hip by tucking your toes, and then you put it back down. Even here, you can take your arms up, although it's preferable if you have your pelvis all the way on the floor. All right? Let's do it. If you don't want to use 2 blocks, that's all right. You can just use your hands. To come out, you either bend both knees. That's the best way, the safest. Or you can drop down onto your forward leg buttock. Does anybody need blocks? Okay. Bring whichever leg you want forward. And here's the most important thing. And this has to do with strength of character. Do not feel like you cannot do split. Of course you can do split. You have a human body. You just have to practice. And it's really worth it because it really helps your low back a lot. So bring your forward foot forward and your back foot back. And keep working. Go a little forward. Go a little back. Come on the balls backward if you need to steer the hip around. Put a block underneath your hamstring if it's difficult to hold. Half pigeon is also an option. She's like, I'm not doing this. That's all right. Next time. Don't worry, I actually split a lot. Good. And we're going to take 5 breaths. Okay, so it's just short of a minute. At first, that sounds like a lot. But it's not that much. It's just enough. Two more breaths. Is there anything you could do to help ease the gripping other than coming out of the pose? In your body and in your mind. Is there any way that you could think about this differently? Good, and then either bend the knees or rock down onto the forward leg buttock to bring yourself up. Excellent. And then of course we can do the other leg. So bring the other leg forward and go back, and don't give up. I don't give up. Being steadfast is different than being hard-headed. That's why one is steadfast and the other one is called hard-headed. Five breaths. Do you notice that as you're in it, you feel like you might not be able to really engage your legs? Like they're just kind of splitting apart and you're wondering what's going to happen or if you're ever going to come back together the same. Engage your legs and push through them. Watch what happens. You get taller in your spine. Press through your legs. Squeeze through your legs. Pull in your belly. Lift with your chest. Be here. One more breath. Beautiful. And then change. Use your hand to pull your leg forward if you went down on that outer buttocks. Good. And then lie down on your back for bridge, or if you feel up to it, you can do wheel. Lie on your back. And if you have a low back issue, you can put a block underneath your sacrum. That's a shield-shaped bone. I'm fine. Thank you. You're good. At the base of your spine. Setting up for bridge or wheel. For bridge, hold the edges of your mat. Make sure you can touch your heels with your middle fingers. Then hold the edges of your mat. Keep your shoulders in place. Inhale, chest. Exhale, tilt the hips up. Shimmy the upper arms under. And lift more. Pull your belly in. You can squeeze your tush, but squeeze from the outside of the buttocks in. Take some control. Start at your outer thighs. It will help. If you just clench your butt cheeks together, it's not going to work out. Your knees must be able to come a little toward each other. That's how you know if you're engaging the right way. This also works for wheel. Now I'm going to take my bridge into wheel because that's an option, and my chest is nice and high now. I'm going to turn my hands around just like we did earlier and lift. Good, and lower. Articulate your spine back down. Keep your tailbone tilting, upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone to the ground. Feet together, knees open, Supta Baddha Konasana. Recline bound angle. Roll out your wrists. If you had gone up into your wheel. And then rest your hands where you need support, either at your hips, your low belly, your mid belly, your heart. You have two hands, so you can put your hands in two different spots. Breathe into your hands. And then use your hands to close your thighs. And if you have a back issue, you roll to the side and press yourself up. If you don't, you can rock yourself up. Okay, forearm balance was what I mentioned earlier. You do not have to balance on your forearms. but I'm going to show how to do it up against a wall. All right. And if you want to watch how to do it, I'm sorry that this might be in your way, but here's the key. When we stand upright and we establish Tadasana, okay, the mountain pose, if we let our belly fall forward and our head move forward and our chest close, we will fall over. But this is how a lot of people kind of live, from driving the car and everything else, and sitting so long. When we finally stand up, we're just like, oh my God. So when you're in Tadasana, the tailbone comes down. You want to be even from the front to the back with the hips. And the chest actually doesn't thrust, okay? It lifts. There's a difference. All forearm balance is this exact same position, upside down, on your forearms. Okay? So watch. Hands go down. You walk in. Now first, you're in a forward bend. Your lifting leg needs to be straight. You go up with your legs, and then notice, see this? Oh, that's called the banana. Okay? The other thing that happens is people start sinking in their shoulders, and then their feet start coming down. Okay? Pull in the belly, lift the chest, look at the wall. If you look at the wall when you're kicking up, you'll get up every single time. You can interlace if you need to, okay? You just won't freestand as easily. I'll show you. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to go in. And just watch the adjustments. Pike, lift, eyes forward. Okay? Ultimately, you'll take it into a scorpion, and I'll just show it for fun. In which case, you move your chest forward, and you start bringing your feet towards your head. But you still have to pull your belly in, or you can't get back up. Okay, I'd move to the wall, unless you freestand comfortably. Any orange wall. At home, do not do this on a door. Do not ask me why I know that. Put your forearms down. Don't be afraid. You can just do the prep pose. Even if you just get one leg up. You go between the mirrors. Other inversions are also on the table. If you want to stand on your head, stand on your head. If you want to put a block under your sacrum, put a block under your sacrum. Just get your legs up. You're going to notice that the breath, when we go upside down, starts to decrease. We hold the breath, thinking if we hold the breath, we can hold the pose. It's the opposite that's true. Heat's on. Two more breaths. You can do this. Give it all your attention, all your focus for 2 more breaths. And then come down and rest. before? Good. Was it different for anyone? It's nice to be able to think when you're upside down, right? When you're making adjustments, not just like, oh my God, I'm upside down and holding the pose. You're actually thinking, adjusting. This is the point of going upside down, not just to see if you can do it. Of course you can do it. Lie down on your back now, happy babies. You can keep your feet facing the front of the room. Rock east and west. Stillness, pull the feet. Place the feet down, supine twist. Pick up your hips, move them over to the left. Pull the knees into the chest, drop the knees over to the right. Open your arms at shoulder height. Stack, knee over knee, hip over hip. Ankle over ankle, shoulder across from shoulder. Lift your top leg, followed by your bottom. Move your hips over, pull the knees in, supine twisting. Pregnancy, you should be sitting up and doing what is called RHY. I'll show that real quick for those of you that are pregnant. All you do is bend the leg, you leave some distance in between your thigh and your foot. Elbow comes to the inside of the leg and you twist away so that you're not only upright with your heart higher than where the baby is, but that you also don't have any constriction into your low belly. And the inversions are totally fine. You can do your inversions as long as you're at a wall. Lift your top leg followed by your bottom. Of course, you do both sides from RHY. Come to the center and lie Shavasana. Legs extended, arms down by your sides, palms turned over and facing upright. Rest. At the end of the class, we always say namaste, and I think it's important that people know what they're saying, if you choose to say it. I honor the place within you of love, of light, of truth, of peace. I honor the place within you when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me. There is only one of us. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for letting me teach you.